Hi, it's me, Lorenzo Buttram Hubbard, the gay socialite, and I'm coming to you from Dallas, Texas. Yes, I'm in Dallas, and it was not my intention for my very first vlog in Dallas to not be about what it's like adding Dallas to the mix. You know, me being somewhere different. Well, I'm always somewhere different, but me not being in Miami as much. So now I'm actually here in Dallas more than I'm in Miami, and it's a lot of fun. But I will definitely do a vlog about that soon. It's Gay Pride Month, and I have had many people reach out to me because right now, even though it's Gay Pride Month, here in Dallas, the transgender community is really going through a bad time. We have had just here recently 2 murders and 4 in a very short period of time. Now, that's not even counting the transgender people who have been victimized and that are being victimized daily, monthly. And this is also keeping in mind that because my audience extends past just Dallas, I'm also thinking about transgender people who are dealing with these same issues in other major metropolitan cities or small towns throughout the United States and even in other countries. Because I have lived in countries around the world and have seen what transgender people go through, even in other countries. But people have asked me how do I feel? Out of fairness, I am not a part of any community-based organization right now that is part of the LGBTQ plus community. And when I say gay community, I'm probably going to substitute just saying the gay community for the LGBTQ plus because I can't say that all through this whole vlog. But I do want to say that I'm going to do this vlog from my own personal, because there is a place where the reason people reach out to me is because there's a place where I can speak on authority from my own personal experience or how I feel, and also being the gay socialite, I think that they want to just know how do I feel. I'm going to say 35 years ago, when I joined the police department, I was a first. I was an FOD, first, only, different. And it was hard. There were not people singing Kumbaya and wrapping their arms around me because they had their first openly gay police officer in their rank and file. I wore a badge, I put on my uniform, I took an oath to serve and protect, and I did my job. But I also became the only and the first to speak up against things that were not happening or things that were happening that should not have been happening against me that kept me from being able to do my job. And that transitions into being part of that FOD. The D part is, what are you doing to make things better? This is a Shonda Rhimes coined term. And I love the way that Shonda Rhimes and also Elaine, I think her last name is Welteroth, use it and explain it. But it's not only being the first and the only, but being different in the way that you are leaving a roadmap, or you are leaving a situation better, or a job better, or an opportunity better for those who are going to come after you to be able to do what you did, but maybe, or to even be able to have a seat at the table. And for me, leaving the department, when I left the department, one of the one of the things that I required when I left the department is that they changed the city bylaws and they changed the city rules and regulations for the department to include a person's sexual orientation as a protected class in order for gay people to be able to do their job free from harassment. That was a requirement. I left the department and then was even asked to come back to consult with the chief on diversity for the department. And that was huge. So to go from a position of being an officer who was going through horrible things, leaving the department, but leaving in a way where I was respected and admired, and then asked to come back to actually give advice and to consult on diversity and sexual harassment and how to move forward. That's huge. And that's what I am saying and what I think needs to be said here. When I travel and I go throughout in the gay communities, and I'm going to start within our own community. I don't think it's fair to start outside. I'm going to start within our own gay communities. I don't think that I see enough opportunity within our own gay communities of transgender people being given an opportunity to make a living. I do not. I do see transgender people being given an opportunity to do a show. I don't see them being given an opportunity to be able to be a bartender, work the front cashier counter, management, waitress. I don't see them being given the opportunity to work in clothing stores and as a checkout person. My point of saying this is until transgender people are given the opportunity to be able to make a living and to be able to do their job or do a job free from harassment and given the opportunity for other people to see them doing that job, then they're always going to be looked at as being this different thing, this different person, this different whatever, as opposed to just a person that's just like everybody else who's just trying to make a living and enjoy their life the way that they should be able to. I live in a city right now, well, two, and I will say, and I'm going to throw out a name of a place, the Palace, for example, in Miami. Absolutely. I'm not a huge I don't go to the Palace often, but that is a place that I absolutely can say hires transgender people to work as bartenders and as the front person as well. After I left the police department, I started my own design firm. It was also an opportunity for me to be an FLDC. I don't want you guys to think that I haven't done it. I've done it. Even in my own design firm in the 1990s, I actually hired a receptionist who was transgender. And she was the face person. She was the first person that people saw. And I cannot explain to you how much that job meant to her. How much it meant for her to be able to come to work every day and her skirt and jacket and blouses and her hair done and her makeup and actually work with my secretary and my assistant and the camaraderie that they had as women. I can't tell you. And I'm sure that it's probably the same. I've never had the experience to hire a transgender man, but I have had the opportunity to hire a transgender woman. So that's in our own gay community. And I'm going to say to straight people, because there are a lot of heterosexual people out there who love and support the gay community and the transgender community as well. But I would like to see you put your businesses or your money where your eyes and your hearts are. Because your eyes see what's going on and your hearts feel compassion. But you're not putting your businesses in a position to actually be able to make anybody's life better. You know, as an ex-police officer, I hear things and sides of subjects that maybe everyone else doesn't. But one thing that disturbs me is so often with the transgender community is when they are put in a position, now let's be real, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. Transgender people are put in a position many times where the only way they can make a living is by prostitution. That's all they can do. They have to sell their body in order to eat or put a roof over their head. It's not like they want to do this. This is the only thing that is available for them to do. And then when they're victimized, they're blamed for being out there doing the only thing that they could possibly do to eat and survive. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. And now don't get me wrong, there may be, and I'm sure there are some transgender people who enjoy that as a profession, just like there are some women and some guys who enjoy prostitution as a profession. So I'm not putting my head in the sand. I'm just saying I know that there are people who are out there doing that and they would rather be doing something else. But why can't a real estate agency hire a real estate agent who's transgender? Or any restaurant hire their waitresses or waiters who are transgender? Yeah, I know it's going to be hard. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, you may get some customers that are going to complain at the beginning, but there was a time, we're in a city right now where you have the chief of police of Dallas is a black female. There was a time that a black person would have never been thought of as being a chief of police in a city like Dallas. A woman? Are you kidding me? So let's be for real. I joined the department in the 80s, and I was the first openly gay police officer in the 80s. My mother and my godmother joined the police department in the 70s, and they were the first graduating classes of women who worked the street, and that was the 70s. So I would say to the chief, I would say to any chief, if I were a person sitting at the table talking to them, because I know what it's like to be the only or to be the first and to be different, I would say to them, okay, why don't we have any transgender police officers? Traveling around the United States, I can't tell you how many ex-military transgender people I've met. So a person can actually serve this country. They can serve this country, put their life on the line for us to be able to live the life that we're living. But they can't go and fill out an application to be a police officer. They can't take the exams to be a police officer or other jobs, but I'm just throwing that one out there right now because that's the one I had. I think if you can pass the exams and if you're qualified, you should be able to do the job. Now, I'm going to be fair. There are organizations out there, and I'm going to put my glasses on right quick because I'm not going to say all of them, but there are some organizations, for example, your National Center for Transgender Equality, Transgender Legal Defense, the Trevor Project, HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, here in Dallas, Abounding Prosperity, the Resource Center. You have organizations that are actually doing the work, and there are many others. I'm not a part, other than being a supporter, I'm not actually working in any of these organizations, but anybody can volunteer, anybody can donate, anybody can But there are as business owners, there's something that we all can do. And when you have a voice, and there's something we can do as well. We could say, I don't think that's right. I don't want to see another transgender person murdered, victimized, treated unfairly. That does not need to be. I think that transgender people deserve the same amount of respect, dignity, and love that we all receive in our daily lives. I understand that the struggle has been hard for many. It was hard for me. It was hard for my mother and my godmother, who rose up to the top of who were groundbreakers in their profession as well, and rose up to some of the highest ranks in the department. But it's time. It's time for people to recognize that just looking at a situation and saying that you care is not enough. You've got to put your money where your mouth and your eyes and your hearts are. You have to. Because finally, people will get an opportunity to see transgender people everywhere and recognize that they're nothing to be afraid of. I'm Lorenzo Buttram Hubbard, the gay socialite. And I hope anyone out there who owns a business heard me. And for the transgender community, I hope that you appreciate that there are many, many people throughout the US and the world who love you, support you, and want you to have a seat at the table. Until next time.